Hello. It is late at night. You can hear people's televisions in the other apartments. Today, we have a very special book. I have not read a book this violent. I can't tell you when. I cannot recall the last time. 156 pages. Waiting for the Barbarians by J.M. Coetzee. There is a walled city on the edge of the desert. The people there live very slowly. We don't know when it is, and it is not affiliated with any nationality. It is just simply known that they are a part of the empire. Of course, it is intentionally vague because of the purpose of this violent novel. Say the leader of the city is simply known as the magistrate. They are visited by someone from the capital of the empire, Colonel Joel, Joll. He arrives wearing something that no one in this this walled outpost, tinted lenses covering his eyes, and no one has ever seen sunglasses before, which gives him quite an alarming disposition, shall we say. And Colonel Joel never removes his sunglasses. He wears them even at night while dining. Now what has happened is that some of the soldiers in the town have captured two people from the outside. We don't know if they are nomads. We don't know if they are the Barbarians. They've been captured, and Colonel Joel is going to interrogate them. And the magistrate gets a very bad feeling about Colonel Joel, and he tries to explain to them. He says, most likely they are not Barbarian spies. It is sure that the Barbarians, if they were going to send spies, would not send an old man accompanied by a young boy. And Colonel Joel just nods, and he says that he will interrogate the prisoners tomorrow. And the magistrate goes to the opposite end of the encampment so as to be unaware of what takes place. But at night, he asks one of the guards what happened during the interrogation, and the guard tells him that the old man died of he went mad, made a jump for the guards, and he got pushed aside, and as he was pushed, he fell heavily against the wall, and it killed him. But the magistrate insists on seeing the corpse, and when he does, he sees that it has been mutilated heartlessly with the utmost cruelty. And the corpse has been left beside the boy, who will be interrogated the next day. And then the magistrate knows what he's dealing with, and he becomes obsessed with this Colonel Joel. And he begins to wonder how this man can participate in society. Like if he has some sort of once he's done with his interrogations, if he has to go through this cleansing routine to clean his hands before he's able to eat or to converse with other people. Even though this, in the early stages of the book, the violence is alluded to rather than plainly seen, it is still very chilling. And the magistrate talks to Colonel Joel, and he wants to know, he's trying to learn how this man can live with what he does. And there is this scene here that I would like to read for you. The tone of truth. Can you pick up this tone in everyday speech? Can you hear whether I'm telling the truth? This is the most intimate moment that we have yet had, which he brushes off with a little wave of his hand. No, you misunderstand me. Oh, wait a minute. No, you misunderstand me. I am speaking only of a special situation now. I'm speaking of a situation in which I'm probing for the truth, in which I have to exert pressure to find it. First I get lies, you see. This is how it happens. First lies, then pressure, and then more lies, and then more pressure, and then the break, and then more pressure, and then the truth. That is how you get the truth. That comes on page 5, and I knew that I was dealing with an extraordinary book that was going to take me down some very dark avenues. Colonel Joel arrives from the capital city of the empire to this, backwards outpost, and he has to deal with his magistrate to try to learn what is happening about the barbarians outside the gate. And the magistrate is, he's an intellectual, and he's concerned with archaeology. He goes out looking for remnants of previous civilizations to see if he can scavenge any notes, any history about the people who lived in the desert. He's very happy if his little encampment remains quite backwards and very far away from the empire. But now the empire under the guise of Colonel Joel, has come to the outpost. And from there, things get utterly horrible in the best literary kind of way. This book will really not be for everyone. At about page 100, when I've still got 50 pages left, I've read 2/3 of the book, I distinctly remember thinking, I hope it doesn't get much worse than this, because I don't know how much more I can take. The beginning was so subtle. You know, the violence was alluded to. We don't see it, we see the results, as horrible as they are. But towards the end of the novel, we do get some very graphic descriptions. Not overdone. Coetzee is a genius with his sentences. They are the briefest, most succinct writing you're ever going to hope to read. It is just astounding. Someone else would do this in 400 pages or 600 or 1,000, but he does it in 156. It is mind-boggling how much he captures in here. So what is this novel about? It is really very simple. There are the oppressors and there is the oppressed. And it matters quite a lot which side you are on. But even if you are on the oppressor's team, just being witness to the actions of your society gets your hands dirty. Like, you are as criminal in your refusal to do something as all of the other people who are committing those atrocities, by standing and watching and seeing what has happened and not acting on that, or even clapping your hands or cheering them on as they commit these unspeakable acts. You are a part of it. You are a part of the criminals that do this. It's such a pleasure that this society, this empire, is unnamed, because you just run through your mind of the nations and the people who have done this to others, who have moved into someone else's territory, enslaved, murdered, eliminated the people who live there, claimed it for their own, and then maintained it with the most hostile grip. It's unbelievable. I really feel that there are people who are not going to be able to get through it. I'm not exaggerating to scare you, and I don't want to put you off, because you really should try to read as much of this novel as you possibly can, because it's very important to realize there is guilt, and there is the horrible complacency. Oh, I'm not a part of that. Yes, I know my government does bad things, but what can I do? I'm just one person. If you think you have sympathy, try reading this novel and explore how much sympathy you have for people who are being oppressed. This novel really quickly makes you think about what we do. Like, this book will really open you up, not in a gentle way. It will open you up and ask you some very hard questions about how you feel about brutality. If you live in a country, you didn't get it for free. Nobody just said, all right, here you go, Canadians, here's your land. No, there were some people here before us who were not too pleased when we told them what our intentions were. And they are still very upset with the visitors on this land. And it's a little bit hard to get some information about this novel, because, unknown to me, they made a film of this novel a few years ago with Johnny Depp. Always astonishes me, this Hollywood desire to continue to make films out of these. It works because it's a book. If it's a film, well, you can't show what's in this book. It's too vicious. Like, who would want to make a film like that? It's okay, sit down, Mel Gibson. Like, this novel really, it goes in so deep, and it twists the blade. Please give this novel a try, because it says quite a lot about oppression, the horrible simplicity of oppression. We are strong, we have the guns. Those people are called barbarians. Let's kill them. You tell all the people, oh, the barbarians are coming. The soldiers are here to protect us against the barbarians. Thank God for the soldiers, because if it weren't for the soldiers, the barbarians would come in and they would rape all the women and burn down the whole village. It's not for the faint-hearted. That is for goddamn sure. And the last 50 pages, It's not violence for violence sake. It's not like torture pornography. That's not what it is. What happened at the end of the novel, where I was really wondering how much more I could take, it was so clear that, like, he's asking you, can you take it? How much of this can you take? Not from the novel, but from the behavior of your government. How much of their vicious behavior that they are committing out there, trying to keep it quiet, and how much of that are you willing to stomach? Can I live with the injustice that goes on? Put my head in the sand, play the video games, watch the Olympics, and just pretend all the evil, it's out there, but it's not in here. Can I pretend that for the rest of my life and just try to imagine that it doesn't touch me, it doesn't stain me, it doesn't infect me, this evil that is done in the world? We close our eyes and we say, oh, well, that's not near me. Hard one this week, but excellent novel, excellent novel. Good time to read it too, while the weather is still dark and moody. Don't want to read it in the summer. Coetzee is such an amazing writer. It depresses me that it's only the second novel by Coetzee I've read. Okay, thank you for watching. This is Grant Loves Books.